Really excited today to be with JT of Bell and Associates, a mentor, a friend, someone that I've done business with a long time. Frankly, he's taught me a lot, probably more so the stuff he's forgotten more so than what he's taught me. But the reality is, really excited about this whole thing called the QLAC, which is the Qualified Longevity Annuity. Explain that a little bit more and why you guys in particular are really excited about it.
Yeah, it's an interesting kind of tax play that a lot of advisors and consumers don't know about, but it hits on the two biggest things that I think is very relevant to people. And one is not running out of money during their lifetime. I mean, you can't put a price tag on that. The other one is forced government distributions in the form of RMDs. So there's very few, and if you ask most advisors, almost no way to reduce those forced RMDs. But the clients, certain clients don't need to spend that money, and they hate that their hands forced by the government. So it addresses those two options.
So you can only do this then when you're 70 years old and have an RMD, or can you do it at any time?
No, you can do it anytime after 59 and a half. So the sweet spot's usually the mid 60s up to 70. The 70-year-olds are getting ready to face the pain of 70 and a half distribution. But also there's 65-year-olds or 62-year-olds that know it's coming, and they're almost positive they don't need that money to live off of, and they're still going to have RMDs, but this is a means to reduce it, and that reduction is up to 25% of their IRA balance.
Okay, I think it was capped at like 130,000 or something.
Yeah, and if you back that off, it's a $520,000 IRA.
Okay.
25% of that hits that maximum of 130. If you have $1 million IRA, you can still only do a max of 130. So that's how it works.
All right, well, let's just say that I've made that decision that I don't think I need the money, but then I do need the money after all. How would that work? You can't get it again till you're 85?
So remember, that's only a minority position of the qualified account. So you have 75% of your money that's still invested in the market or wherever you have it invested that presumably is fully liquid over there. So we're just carving out a piece, but the piece we do carve out is strictly for back-end, highly leveraged, guaranteed lifetime income. It's the L part of the QLAC, the QLAC, meaning longevity. So that piece leverages up, depending on your age, it can leverage up a 25% payout of your original principal, guaranteed for the rest of your life, starting at age 85. So 130 grand kicks out $33,000 a year the day you turn 85. And for every year, if you live to 120, you keep getting 33 grand a year off of an original $130,000 deposit.
Wow, that's great. And so effectively, if I put that in, I have to wait till I'm 85 to get it, or could I start the income at 75? Could I start it at...
So you do have to wait until age 85. Actually, I believe you can start at 80. Most people choose 85 as kind of the sweet spot, but 80 is the soonest that you can elect to kind of defer those distributions. So again, at the end of the day, if you have a $520,000 IRA, your RMDs are about 4%, so that's 20 grand or so. We're going to reduce that to 15 grand. So that's $5,000 of taxable income that you're not paying taxes on, forced to pay taxes on. Why that can be important with the standard deduction, etc. That's less money that could kick you in a new tax bracket. So sometimes that 5 grand makes a big difference, and avoiding that 5 grand can be a big deal.
And then it's also creating that kind of pot of money down the road to, when we talk about portfolios, short-term, medium-term, long-term type money, that could be in your long-term bucket to know that, you put money aside for that 85 and plus age if I live that long.
The longevity element of it is protecting and make you sleep easier at night. I mean, unequivocally, no matter if you make it to 85, which I think most of us hope that we will, unequivocally that you're going to have that money to cover your rent, your health care, a lot of stuff. Hopefully you have some Social Security to add to that, but you're going to cover all your bases. If you lost the entire 75% that's invested in the market, You still have plenty to live a comfortable lifestyle.
What happens if I don't make it to 85?
Great question, comes up a lot. So they call it a cash refund.
Okay.
So your heirs, your wife or your kids or whoever, would get every penny of what you put in guaranteed. And in my example, 130 grand.
Okay.
If you die at 84 and you haven't triggered that income, they get 130 grand. They wouldn't get any accumulation, but they get the 130 grand. Conversely, let's say they die age 86. So they just got 33 grand of income. You put in 130, your heirs are going to get roughly 100 grand. So they get
the
what's
difference.
left over.
Okay. Tax-free?
No, not tax-free because it's still a qualified
Right.
vehicle.
With life insurance, it's tax-free. It's just
Yeah.
making a joke on you. Give me a quick example.
Yeah,
Maybe
so 70-year-old, someone that's getting ready to face RMDs, has $520,000 IRA. They're pretty sure they don't need the RMD income to live off of, but they know they want some money out of that RMD. So we carve out 130 grand, move it into the QLAC product. That leaves 390 in the investment account, fully liquid. They can do whatever they want. And now they're only paying the RMD calculation, about 4% is on 390 now, not 520. Well, that 130 we carved out generates $33,000 age 85 and for the rest of that person's life guaranteed.
So what is it invested in to generate that $33,000?
It's some people have heard of an immediate annuity or a SPIA.
Okay.
Generates guaranteed immediate income. A carrier promises and guarantees based on their actuarial data X amount of income. Think of it as that, but a deferred SPIA or a deferred income annuity. So
all contractually guaranteed?
All contractually guaranteed, no moving parts.
Oh, that's great. So again, I think this is a strategy that a lot of people haven't heard about. I know that in our practice, we run into this more often than not. People saying, I've got this money in IRA. I don't really think I need it all. What should I do? And we run to, do you want to do something for your heirs? Are you worried about, outliving it? And so when we get the outliving the money type story, but they don't need the money, this is kind of the rainy day what if money. It sounds like it's protected if they don't make it to 85. And then if they do make it to 85, it's a real nice income kicker.
Another thing too, for that other portion of the money, around $400,000 that stays invested, arguably you could talk to your advisor about being a little bit more aggressive with that money to build more wealth and allocate differently, because now arguably I only need to get to age 85 and then this sucker is going to kick in. And worst case scenario, if my money runs out at 85 on the investment portion, this one kicks in and I'm in good shape.
All right, the last question that sometimes comes up is, well, who's to say that money is really going to be there? Are you concentrating on certain type of carriers? Is there some type of protection in place?
Yeah, so there's a small minority of carriers that really excel in this space, have products for it. The majority of them are A+, huge financial institutions. One of the biggest ones is Lincoln that plays in the space. There's all sorts of good articles if people want to Google it or check it out. It's not controversial. It's very black and white, and the carriers are highly rated, so a lot of peace of mind behind it. It's all contractually guaranteed.
Yeah, and on this protection note, we've gotten this a few times. Some people are concerned that their life insurance company is going to be there. And one of the arguments I say is they have asset requirements and reserving requirements that they got to meet for risks that they take on. There's some, different company, the co-insurance type thing that you have where different companies may be getting involved with the death benefit if it's, some company takes a little bit here or there, that type of thing. But one of the things I point out to people right off the bat is if life insurance companies are getting to the point where they go out of business, it's probably a sad commentary of what's going on with other parts of the economy and the market. But I have had a couple people run back to 2008 that are saying, well, we had a company or two that went out of business. What would you say to the protection type?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. If you challenge someone, say, can you name a company that went, belly up, an insurance company? No one, it's very rare that someone can name it. If so, they're typically going back to the 80s with junk bonds and a whole different world.
Cheating thing.
Yeah, so But they're highly rated companies. There's 5 main ratings agencies, and they all are well vetted out that way. So more banks fail than insurance companies, and people never really talk about banks failing, but hundreds fail every year, even in good times, let alone bad times.
I like the mutual type companies too, because they're really accountable to the policy holders and not some stock price. I think that's another.
Yeah, and again, on the QLACs in particular, they're fully guaranteed. So, mutual or a stock company, it almost doesn't matter because they're bound by the terms of that contract, the full claims paying ability of the entire company. So there's no levers that they can pull on this particular product.
Okay. Anything else that you'd like to add before we wrap up?
No, that's pretty much it.
Okay, well, this has been Pat Moran with Healthier Money and JT at Bell & Associates. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at www.healthiermoney.com or the link that's at the bottom of the page. And thanks for listening.